Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, just recently, and unfortunately, I had a bad bout of strep throat. I think I had gotten sick from eating some seafood at a new seafood place, unfortunately. But, at first it was not too bad, and then a couple days went by, and I was like, okay, I gotta get to the doctors. Um, but during the course of this, and, taking the antibiotics that I needed to get, I of course, tried to do whatever I could to relieve some of the symptoms and some of the pain. And I wanted to just quickly review some of the things that I used that were common remedies and just kind of make some suggestions about it, just because I was glad for myself to be able to find out about some of them. Now, I used apple cider vinegar, which you can use as a gargle, mixing, half with water, or you could use it on its own. But among the remedies that were popular out there, I found that this was like the least helpful. I didn't find the apple cider mix was all that great personally. So what I would more recommend out of the things that I've used would be a salt gargle. Now with the salt gargle, I mixed in probably about a tablespoon of a salt into a small mug of water, about 6 ounces. Heated that on up to be about hot, of course not boiling or anything, but enough to be able to, have almost like a hot cup of coffee and be able to gargle. The salt kind of relieved some of the symptoms, cleared things out, especially kind of drew out the mucus because the salt helps to draw out the moisture. But I would say the number one thing out of everything was using the hydrogen peroxide. Now, the hydrogen peroxide used, has to be something that's safe to gargle. Typically, the 3% is what you'll find in the store. 3% hydrogen peroxide. Some will even say to dilute it further, maybe like half and half with water. For me, this was fine on its own. And what I found is that when I gargled it, and again, you're not supposed to swallow this at all, so be careful. You got to gargle it carefully. But when I gargled it, I really felt the antiseptic properties, and I felt it really cleaning things out and almost giving a little bit of numbingness to it. And when I gargled it, of course, got a little bit white and frothy, and I had to spit that out. But I found that doing this a couple times throughout the day was the most helpful for relieving some of the symptoms of the strep throat. Now that said, the one thing to watch out for is if you do this just before bed, it can make you a bit groggy when you wake up because it kind of causes your snot there to build up in the back of your throat. So you may not want to do this directly before bed, maybe like 30 minutes before, so you can kind of spit some of the buildup out from the hydrogen peroxide cleaning out your mouth. But to me, I found this to be, really the most useful at curtailing some of the pain and really kind of, cleaning out the back of it. But, for many people, strep throat will go away on its own in 7 to 10 days. For me, I needed the antibiotics because once I cross a certain threshold, like, I have some ear problems. You've probably seen my other videos about that, but I need to get rid of it. So I need something that kind of, would help with that. And this to me was among the options of like, salt gargle, apple cider vinegar. This is the most helpful gargle. And of course, supplementing that with things like Ricolas and other types of drops to help soothe the throat worked. But yeah, I mean, it was very painful, but hopefully if you're in the situation and you're trying to figure out what to do, check this out. Gargle a little bit of this. Don't swallow, of course, so you don't damage your internal organs and things like that. But just, gargle it. It doesn't really taste like much of anything. It almost tastes water-like, but it will, froth up and clear out some of that infected skin. All right, buddy. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. And hope you feel better if you're feeling sick too, like I did just a week ago about.